The hardest part for people to understand, especially in our business, is the manipulation of reality. When you tell people this, they think you're out of your mind. When you tell people this, they think you are out of your mind. What are you talking about? Manipulation of reality. What? I'm going to say this again and again and again until everybody in this country says, I understand now. I understand exactly what you're talking about. I understand. I grasp this. I understand. Okay? I want everybody to understand this. You are being presented here a reality that you can very well change if you want. You can change this reality. You can do it. It's up to you, completely up to you. They are telling you right now, the latest by this Senator Warnock, that racism is again the part of what's happening regarding Frau Fani. And you can make Fani Willis political kryptonite. So radical left, Wokie Dems will dump her once and for all and put another nail in the coffin of this faux racism claim. Let me say this again to you. This is the chance for everybody to seize the opportunity and not pick apart motions and miss the point again completely as to what this case is about. This is the chance to use this argument about and against and regarding racism and to discard it once and for all. This is critical. This is what I want you to understand. All she has to say, all Warnock has to say, Warlock, all they have to say is, listen to this. You ready? Ashley Merchant is married to her co-counsel. Is that a conflict? Leave it at that. Walk away. Let them say, wait. She's not the elected district attorney. No, this is different. Just say that. Throw it out there. Create the message. This is what they would do if they were smart. Well, she's married. This is not a conflict of interest. It's other things, but it's not a conflict of interest. And move on. That's not what they do. You've got to understand this. All they know is racism. They sent Warnock out, the Reverend, and they said, listen, go out and say this. Okay. And it's the same thing. And I wish somebody would say, I know. I wish President Trump would say, I know. Let me guess. She's a proud black woman and this is racism, right? Is that about it? Okay. All right. Just want to make sure I got that. Just want to make sure. I know she's a proud black woman and that's right. Okay. Got it. Just, why don't you do this? Why don't you say, if it's the race card, hold up the number 1. If it's the gender card, hold up the number 2. And when you come on, just go like this. Just save yourself time so we know what you're going to say. Because the radical left woke only has this. The reason why she is here, the reason why this is a problem, the reason why this is it, is not because of the fact that she's having a relationship. That's not it. I've been telling you this forever. I've been saying this to the point of exhaustion. I've been saying this to the point where I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't even know how to put this into words anymore. It's fun. It's exciting. It's great, especially when you break down motions and say, look at this, and this is a good point. Oh, look at this. And then, what about the receipts from the trip? That's nothing to do with it. Get ready, my friends. We're going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about some other things too, which are going to blow your mind. Fudged Photoshop, Kate, conspiracies. Oh, you're not going to believe this. And this ghoulish satanic ritual called the Academy Awards. That plus this plus Fani. Please sit back. Make sure you are subscribed. Many people still have their subscriptions unsubscribed. So check. Ensure you are subscribed. This is critical. But first, friends, the most critical news you can hear from a great, great sponsor. Let's talk about a very serious subject, emergency food. That's right, emergency food. I know. At first blush, it's difficult for for most people to think about something that they just take for granted, ever reaching emergency status. We're used to stores always being open, deliveries always made, no supply chain disasters, no ransomware catastrophes, none of that stuff. Nothing shutting down our gas stations, right? No trucking strikes, no war, no protests from farmers, nothing catastrophic in terms of weather. Nope, that can't happen to us. And I understand it's a defense mechanism that we have because the idea of ever not being able to eat or locate food is seemingly incomprehensible. Well, it's not. That's why it's time for you to go to my site, preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com has the deal of deals for you. I'll take it as a starter set. You've been putting off emergency food for too long. Some people still have a thing about prepping as though preparing for emergency is foolish. Now, right now, you can save $60 on a 4-week emergency supply kit. This is unbelievable. 16 varieties with a 25-year shelf life, 2,000 calories a day in 2 beautifully modular buckets that weigh 38 pounds total. These are waterproof and they're perfectly stackable. 4 weeks, a month. Now, be honest, could you go a week without any trips to any store? I'm not talking about having stuff in your cabinet. I'm not talking about banana chips and jerky. I mean food, real food. So go right now to preparewithlionel.com, right now, right this moment, preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. You'll thank me, trust me. Okay, my friends, never let an opportunity go by without seizing upon it. Never let an opportunity go by like this. Never take something and miss it. Never. Never go for the low-hanging fruit. Never miss what is happening. I promise you, last night, as an example, do you know what it means? All of you folks, all of the usual suspects in the world of YouTube, the ones who talk about, the pedos and this and that and blah, 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 all this stuff. Do you know what last night was? Do you know what the Oscars represent? I like collective nouns. Is it the Beatles is? The Beatles are? The Oscars is? Because it's a collective. Anyway, do you know what last night represents? Do you know every freak and satanic ghoul from around the world, all of them together in one place? Do you know the parties and the back rooms and oh my God. You're not going to hear anything about that today, right? They don't know it. They don't know it. They're looking more like, did you see this? Did you see this? There's another case of a drag queen in a public school in Dentonville, Montana. What? It's the same usual suspects. And the real bad guys, the Satanists, as you would call, are laughing their ass off. How did they not understand what we do? Do you know what last night was? Did you see? If you could close off last night, listen to what I'm saying, and I'll get back to this, but I want you to understand this because it's all kind of intertwined. If you could have closed off last night's Academy Awards, just closed it off, picked that room up, and just, I don't want to get too ghoulish, but let's say move it to a different planet, a different parallel universe, do you know what would happen to the world of depravity? It would be like the Super Bowl was stopped. It would be like the NFL was over. Do you know what last night? Do you know what the entertainment world means in terms of pushing the narrative? Do you know how you want to talk about? Let me tell you something. You'll hear people all the time talk about the Israeli lobby. Okay. The gun lobby. All right. The Ukrainian lobby, whatever. This is the freak and demented, detached, disjointed. Do you know what this group represents? Do you have any idea of what last night was? No. I promise you don't. Because you're not going to hear it listening to the people you listen to. I'm sorry. I don't want to break it to you. I'm not going to break it. You are being treated like children because you are being, and I'm going to say something to you, and I didn't want to say this, but there are more limited hangouts, inadvertent, whether it's the story of Fani, whether it's the story of predators, whether it limited hangouts, people who provide half of the story, a distorted sense of the story, a little bit of the story, a watered down version to make you think, okay, that's it. No, it's not it. They've never come straight with you ever about Epstein or anything for that matter. Nothing. You don't know this. And what you do is, and I keep saying you, what they do is they look at people on approved platforms of the usual suspects who say, I give an example. There are, whenever you hear the word, and I'll get back to this, whenever you hear the word pedo, it should turn you off right away. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. It's like reading something that says natural. That's not it. It's not natural. You don't need to write natural on natural stuff. This is no. This is low hanging fruit. Oh, look, there's no. If I were to sit here and tell you, do you know what's going on in Haiti now? No. Do you know last night? Do you know the people of, and I wish I could, and I can't, but there were some actors and actresses and actors in particular who are almost like they're owned by these people. Let me just explain something to you. Let me go back a little bit. If I'm going to be, and I'm going to use your words, evil, satanic, because you like that. I know you believe in the Satan. And you believe that there's a devil and there's this Lucifer. Okay, fine. Whatever it is, I don't care. Other people don't. Other religions don't. Other people don't know what the hell you're talking about. But whatever works for you, okay? I'm going to tell you something. And you think that okay, fine. The first thing that these people are going to want to hit, the first people that they are going to want to target, the devil, Satan, Lucifer, the forces of evil, would be the people that command your attention and force your acceptance of what is and isn't funny. And that's the media and specifically entertainment. And what you saw last night, I don't care whether you watch the Oscars, because when you talk to people today, they're going to say they pride themselves. Oh, I don't watch that. And they're missing the point. It's like, I don't want you to watch that. Do you know what that represents? Well, I don't want to watch it because people love to say, "Oh, I don't watch CNN. I'm unplugged." Okay, fine. I watch Patriots Corner on Rumble. I say, okay, that's good. I get that, which is great. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but it's like, come on, seriously, you're still buying this up? No. You got to watch this one. This is all about vaccines. This on Rumble. Okay, all right. How do I tell you this? What I'm talking about, you're not going to hear on conventional things. But last night was the high altar of the age of the demons. Let me use your language. If Satan's appearing, these were the demons. These were the people who are going out, and they've really had to tighten the message. Did you notice it? Do you notice how running scared were? Did you notice how there were fewer instances of debauched lunacy? Did you see that? Did you happen to catch that last night? Did you see how the message is kind of changing a little bit? Did you see it? Did you notice it? Did you notice that you don't see as many? Put it this way. There was one year where they had it was nothing but one crypto-gendered person after another. Sparky says, I don't think the U.S. has left Haiti alone since your man Woodrow Wilson. We're not talking about the U.S. We're not talking about the U.S., so to speak. But thank you, sir. Okay, now let me explain to something. Something happened last night. Something happened. And I'm watching it. Mrs. L and I are saying, what are we seeing? One of the things which was the most interesting, the last gasp of relevance. Everything about it lost its importance. The set was crappy. The speeches were crappy. But it doesn't matter. The slobs are usual, but it was different than usual. Number one. Number two, Jimmy Kimmel was so bad last night, so horrible, so awful. To start off, let me just hear me out. I know what you're going to say. You're saying, I don't care about Jimmy. Okay, I don't. Because you love to say, I don't care about this. I don't. Whenever the enemy speaks, listen to them. Don't say, I don't listen to them. No, they're talking to you. They're speaking. Listen to you. You're watching Fox News. You're listening to Trey Gowdy or yes, ma'am, or Harris, whoever, or whatever, whoever these people are. You're listening to the packaged message you already know. That does me no good. Yeah. Trump is great. Mark Levin, great guy. I know. I'm not interested in that. What's the enemy saying? What's the enemy saying? What are the people that you are fighting? What are they saying? If you want to learn about Fani Willis, don't go to somebody who keeps putting up copies of the motion and say, see, I'm right. Don't worry, everything's groovy. No, it's not groovy. In the least. Gracie loves Georgia says, they are the scum of the earth, as Bob Grant would say. Well, with all due respect, and by the way, I loved Bob Grant. He was such a nice man. I know people. Bob Grant was probably he was there before Rush Limbaugh. He was one of the original Joe Pine and one of the original conservative talk show hosts. If that's your life, or if that's your thing. We're gonna get back to Fanny in a moment, but I gotta tell you something because this was I was making all kinds of notes. If you want to work intel, if you want to, how do I say this? You've got to listen to the enemy. Now, one of the things they love to do is they love to tell you what reality is. Jimmy Kimmel sucked so bad last night. Absolutely sucked. He starts off by making a joke about Robert Downey Jr. and his drug addiction. Listen, this was so long ago. For God's sakes. And they didn't like it and he didn't like it. But what they're doing is they're telling you today, he was great. He was fantastic. He knocked it out of the park. Okay, what does that mean? They're telling you what. Mrs. L makes it very clear to me. She says, they're telling you what reality is. They're telling you, this is good. This is, oh, it is? Yes. Okay. He was great. He was awesome. He was? Yes. Okay. Whatever. No, he wasn't. And by the way, we have people within our ranks who are limited hangouts on our view, who are giving us not only limited, by the way, limited hangout, remember, does not mean false information. It means not enough. You know what I'm saying? If I said to you, instead of telling a woman she was pregnant, and I said something like, this is a terrible example. Well, you're going to miss your period this month. Okay. That's true. But there's a little bit more than that. And why? Well, I didn't go through that part, but don't worry about this month. Camping trip won't be a problem. Don't worry. You won't have to pack anything special for this one. Well, am I pregnant? Well, I didn't say that, but yes. Why didn't you say that? Well, I want to give you just a little bit. It's like when somebody gives you like a bad joke, like they tell you just enough of it, just to make you think that's the extent of it. That's it. Ellsberg, the Pentagon Papers, limited hangout. Everybody knew of it. Everything he said, they already knew, but they wanted you to think like, ooh, we've exposed this. It's so Nixon mentioned it on his tapes. It's like this perfect example. But there's also this distortion, this media. Now, listen to me and listen good, because you're going to miss an example of something which was so terrific. You're not going to pay it. You don't know what's happening. This is textbook, and it's happening right now in front of you, and nobody is saying anything. Where is Kate Middleton? Okay, listen to what I'm saying to you. The Prince and Princess of Wales, Catherine, okay? Catherine. Listen to this. I can't tell you what I'm hearing about where she is, because I don't know what to believe, and it will blow your mind. Okay? But meanwhile, you're watching Harris Faulkner, or you're watching Yes Ma'am, or whoever the hell they. I don't even know who these people are. I'm dating myself. I don't watch that, but you're watching that. And you who love stuff, you love the SS Liberty, and you'll talk about HARP and PSYOPs. This is a PSYOP going on right now, and this is something you've got to remember, because when you're in the middle of this, you can't believe what you're seeing, and you can't believe how people are so freaking stupid. Kate's nowhere to be found. She's just not here. She went for abdominal surgery, and I don't know. What do you mean? I don't know. Where is she? She's whatever. So the other day, she puts a picture out on Mother's Day, which was the UK's yesterday. And Mrs. Al says, by the way, she's the best. She says, hey, look at this picture. Something's wrong with this picture. I said, okay. And we are not prone to always being conspiracy minded. We're not. It's not our thing. That's not where we go to first. But we're attuned to it. We're attuned to it. It's like when you have a missing wife and you talk to the husband. You're not going to go there thinking he's the murderer, but listen very carefully. History will tell you. The spouse. I'm just saying. Pay attention. So what they said was, well, she's doing just fine. No, then the other day they said, well, here's Kate driving around. It was like they thought it was a body double. They thought whatever it was. Anyway, so this picture comes out yesterday or the day before with her kids, or Charlotte and Louie or Eddie or whatever the kids are, and she's sitting there. And Mrs. L said, this is weird. So anyway, crowdsourcing. That's why you're beautiful. There are people who are juries. They're sitting in Montana and the Isle of Wight and in Panama and in Mexico City and in Beijing, and they're all over the world. And they're using their own particular expertise, and they're looking at this and they're saying, wait a minute. There's something wrong with this. This photo, the arm is right, that you can't Photoshop. And immediately they said, this is wrong. And what was a reaction? You know it. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're a lunatic. You're crazy. It's not true. You're nuts. You're crazy. You're crazy. You and your conspiracies and your moon landing, and then, okay, they just throw everything at you like moon landing. I didn't say anything about a moon landing. You know how you are. You and your 9/11. I didn't say 9/11. You're all the same. Like you're part of one big group. Okay, listen to this. This is her actual. This is from her ex account. Their ex account at Kensington Royal. Like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion the family photograph we shared yesterday caused. I hope everyone celebrating had a very happy day. What? What? She responded to this controversy swirling over what was to be proof that she is on the mend after abdominal surgery. And the AP said an image of Kate and her children, released by the palace, appears to be manipulated. And several news agencies have retracted the image. Now, listen to what I'm telling you. They do this for a number of reasons. And one of the things they do, when I say, and we're going to find out who they are. One of the things we're going to find out who they are, and this is very, very important, very, very critical. We're going to find out who they are. But they will do things. They will look at you and they will tell you, this is not so. This is not so. On 9/11, I was here in New York on that Tuesday morning. I was here. I was here. I could smell it. I was here. And what I saw and what was reported had nothing, in some cases, had nothing to do with each other. And they said, you're crazy. That's not true. That's not true. I'll give you another one. Do you remember when, and I've never been a birther, I don't know enough about the whole birth certificate thing. I don't know about, I swear to you, it wasn't my thing. I said, okay, whatever. But I know there's something that they're not doing to assuage any feelings people had. Somebody, I'll never forget this, a crowdsourcer said, I'm noticing something here. I looked at this thing and they noticed it. The PDF wasn't locked or whatever. And this person says, hey, it looks like somebody added. What did they say? You're crazy. But I'll go one step further. If I run the show, if I'm in charge of the shadow government, whoever these people are, I don't want to cover things up. I want to leave one of the little doors open so that you'll say, wait a minute. And then I'll say, you're crazy. Do you believe me or your lying eyes? One of the most important concepts ever. I want you to listen to what I'm saying. I will tell you who's funny. I will tell you who's relevant. I will tell you. Did you notice last night there was that speech about Ukraine? Nothing about Israel. Why is that? What's that about? Now, let me say something about this, and we're going to get to this because this is very, very important. They will all if you want to hear the usual that's the wrong word. The two schools of thought. You can hear, for example, Fox News, others. Israel is correct. Israel is right. Israel is fighting for its existence. This is a legitimate and a valid fight against Hamas and whatever it is. Okay. That's one group. The Michael Rappaport. Have you heard this guy? Oh, my God. Do they know he's out there? Or maybe, I don't even know anymore. I don't even know if this is legitimate, if they wanted him. Anyway. Now, the other group of people, very interesting. Max Blumenthal, Aaron Mate, Judge Napolitano, Colonel McGregor, Norman Finkelstein, Mearsheimer, all of those. Have you noticed? It's all circular. It's the same thing. It's almost like it's not incorrect. It's absolutely correct, but it's the same thing. Look at this. Look what they're doing. This is a lie. This group says this is what we have to do. This is an existential threat. That is the presentation. Do you notice that? This versus this. What's the truth? Well, what is it? Is the truth what's happening, or is the truth perception? And the truth is perception. It has nothing to do with red. There is no such thing as truth. What you believe to be true is all that matters. And what we will do is we will tell you what to believe. And if you like this vacation package, pick this and we'll give you truth in this side. If you like this vacation package, we'll give you this truth. Do you want to go to this port of call? You want to go to Bimini? You want to go to fine, go here. You want to go to the mountains? That's what it is. It's like they're intellectual travel agents. They give you the reality. What reality would you like? We'll give it to you. You want to be one of the lefty cool people? Good. Jimmy Kimmel's funny. The Oscars are relevant. That's last night. That was your salute. That was your group. Meanwhile, what's going on? I promise you, if somebody would have said, "Hey, do me a favor. Whenever there's an event, go to the local airports. Go to the airports. See how many foreign planes are there, and take a picture. Look at the cargo coming off. Notice a lot of young people. Just saying, but that's not going to work because you see, the usual suspects aren't there. They're talking about their idea of it as drag queens. Okay. Another aspect of this, the Republican Party, remember, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are two sides of the same coin. Two sides of the same coin. Absolutely identical, but seemingly different. You got heads, you got tails, and you always have, and Carol Quigley said it, you always have this group and this group. And if you don't like this group, you throw the bums out every 4 years and you have this group. But this group is just the half of the other one. And then you don't like this group and you throw them out and this group comes back. And it's the same group. Oh, there are some differences here and there, but not really. But they're the same. They're identical. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Okay. Now, what everybody loves, left and right, is racism. It's the best story there is. Why? The left, Fani, says, look what they're doing to this proud black woman. The white nationalists are doing it again. That's the left. The right says, look at those people always blaming racism when in fact that's not it. It's two sides, same issue, but two distinct sides. That's it. And the real issue is, okay, well, but what is this really about, though? What is this really about? Sparky always knows. Sparky says the royal family's individual social media teams don't like royal family members to interact on social media unsupervised, even when things are going okay, much less when there are problems. I think you're onto something. And by the way, Sparky, the most, and thank you, by the way, and the most conspiracy-minded folks that I know, I mean really deep, dark, rabbit hole folks, never understand the royal family. They don't get it. This is the gold standard. We can't hold a candle to them. They have been their whole world, the whole world, from Edward VII, World War I, Churchill. These are the most deceitful, underhanded, perfide Albion. Do you know this history? How many of you believe in this story that Winston Churchill is a hero? What do you think World War II was? I don't want to get too off into this, but what do you think World War II was really about? Was it about, oh, I don't know, there's FDR and who got us into World War II? What was World War II really about? We'll talk about that later. Ask our friend, Mr. Churchill. And all of you are you into game theory? Any of you friends? Tertius Gaudens. Do you remember this one? Remember this? Tertius Gaudens? Is a person who keeps the people apart and can extract? Okay. It's game theory. It's the idea. It means literally third who benefits. You see, this is the part that I love. There are people that I meet, and they are supposedly, and they throw me into this. I'm a conspiracist. All right, whatever you say. And I haven't met one yet because they're not very good. They're like very low. They're very base, very base. They don't really get the real. It's like, well, go a little deeper. Go a little deeper. That's the reason. That's the reason. Keep going. Look at what's happening. And let me also tell you what's happening. Listen very, very carefully, more than anything else. But first, I want to catch my breath, because I'm going to tell you something which is going to make a lot of people very, very angry. And it's one of the geniuses about social media. And I'm seeing it in Fani Willis. Absolute, it's like an experiment every day. But first, last night it was miserable. It was windy, and we're catching as much of this horrid, satanic high summit as we possibly can, as you would say, satanic. And there we were ensconced in our percales with our My Pillow pillows, our My Pillow blankets, our My Pillow. We are a My Pillow family, and you can be too by going to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Well, it is time yet again, my friends, to hail and salute our great friends at mypillow.com. And if you use promo code Lionel, you'll get a free gift. No purchase necessary. And yes, I know, a free gift. It's a tautology, so sue me. But first, please listen. What are we talking about here? Down comforters, flannel sheets, Giza Dream bed sheets, My Pillow 2.0 sheets, slippers, percales, towels, quilts, bedspreads, mattresses, mattress covers, mattress toppers, linens, kitchen towels, bathrobes, name it. Literally name it. Items to help you luxuriate and relax. And they're monster sellers. Slippers. My slippers. That's right. Slip-ons, moccasins. Think about it. What do they do at My Pillow? They make things real soft and plush and comfy. How perfect. Now here's the link. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, or mypillow.com /Solidus or Virgil /Lionel, or call 800-645-4965. And watch how fast Mike answers the phone. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, simply and absolutely the best. Okay, my friends, let's go back to something. And by the way, one more thing. I remember last night, it's so funny how they're these people of the prototypical. And by the way, remember something. The people who are at the top of the Hollywood group, these are the Epstein folks. These are how do I say this? These are the predator's predator. Okay. So last night, these people were so bad and so stupid. We were watching Al Pacino, who was like, Al, it's over with. And Al Pacino came out. And he stumbles, and he has this, and they talk. And by the way, De Niro, for having the mentality of a soap dish, he's I think more with it than anything else. He's more. But Al Pacino stumbles out, and he's not doing the yelling. He goes through various voice changes. You notice how they do that? Just like Dylan. Remember Dylan's voices? Remember the lady lay is like, who's that? That's Dylan. Really? And now he does that gravelly, whatever I think is. Well, same thing with Pacino. At first was, oh yeah, sure, Sonny. He did that, and then he did the kind of Volkswagen, the kind of foghorn leghorn thing, and then later on anyway, he comes out, he stumbles on out, with his wigs and his this. The guy's 80. What is he? 85 years old, 80, whatever. Anyway. And he comes out and he opens up the envelope. He says, it's Oppenheimer. He didn't read the nominees. And I'm thinking to myself, so I turned to Mrs. Donald and said, did you? She says, well, maybe they're doing it. I said, no, this is the best picture, this is the finale. And they give it to this rube. Remember the year they try to make Warren Beatty feel bad? They gave him the wrong thing. And he goes, I didn't read it. You told me to. Anyway, it's just, okay. Was that deliberate? No, that wasn't. That was just stupid. That was just irrelevant. They don't understand something. you've got this coot president, and then you've got this guy. What's going on here? Supposedly for this industry that loves youth. But I digress. Right now, as we speak, I'm on this device called social media. And social media is one of the greatest influence and opinion aggregators, bar none. What is it that makes a social media person? Let me ask you, what is it that motivates somebody on Twitter? What is it? The brilliance of their words? The information that they convey? No, it's the numbers and the metrics. That's it. Look at this. They had a woman one time that said, so-and-so who has 3 million people on Instagram. This is what they said. Who has 300 million people on Instagram. Now, if you sell a record and you say, this is a gold seller, this record went platinum, that means something. 1 million sales, $1 million, 1 million units, whatever it is. That's something, as opposed to 1 million people like this person. And people in the business will do whatever they have to do to comport with the metric. And you're always being told, go here. This is what works. Yeah, but I don't think that. Go here. This is entertainment. This is politics. This is religion. This is everything. Always please the audience. Never worry about never guide the audience. Never teach the audience. Never say, no. Please them. Don't give them nutritious food. Give them what they want. Your job is selling food. It's not feeding them. Sparky says, if the Royals were an S show before, how bad will they be or appear to be without Queen Elizabeth II to sort of keep them in check? Sparky, I agree with you 100%. She was something that was the ballast. Ersatz Oscars, indeed. There's no mooring. There's no whatever. It's Will. He's it. Charles is much worse than they're even letting him on. This is the King of England. Now, this is my favorite. You meet Americans and they think they're believing this Revolutionary War stuff. Hey, they don't care. It's antiquated. Really? Yeah, they don't know. See, you think you know stuff. 3 biggest oil-producing countries in the world. What do you think they are? 3 biggest. Let me tell you number 3 is Canada. Here's number 2, Saudi Arabia. Who's number 1? Venezuela. Wait a minute, what? Yeah. See, my whole thing is to always pull you in. No, come over here. Fani Willis, as an example, is so perfect. She is this story, and I'm sitting back, I'm saying, how are they missing this point here? How are they missing this? The shadow government people, the ones who love it, love the fact that she's driving people crazy. Do they really care about Donald Trump having a case dismissed in Georgia for, racketeering? Not really. Not really. They don't spend a lot of time worrying about this. They would like another scalp, so to speak, but they're not worried about that. That's not their thing. They're not worried about that. They are worried about something else that's happening. And that is how the message just isn't working. It's not working. there's a certain degree of, as it's been described, metal fatigue. There's a certain degree of people who are who, how do I say this? They are they have used the racist thing for so long, it doesn't work anymore. It like this. We're antibiotic resistant to this form of bacteria. We are, you know what I mean? It doesn't work. None of this works. Racism, it doesn't work anymore. I hate to tell you this, and I know nobody, but this is the year 2024. Racism is absolutely, it's benign. It's dilute. Uh-oh. A, not and. Sorry about that. Sparky, don't ever worry about that. Only you would care about that. By the way, is it ahistorical or anhistorical? I'll let you decide. What they're worried about more than anything else right now is that the message is hackneyed, trite, ridiculous, a waste of time. They bring out Warnock and he comes out and says, this is racist. No. All anybody's had to do, whether it's Fani, is to say, excuse me, there's no conflict of interest here. Ashley Merchant. It's her husband. Yeah, but their defense. So what? What difference does it make? They're working together. Should Donald Trump worry about it? Oh, wait a minute. They're working together, right? They're making a lot of money. They're going on, they're sharing gifts. They're sharing, trips. What? Oh, Ashley Merchant is sharing trips with her husband. So what they're doing is they're going to prolong this. They could have maybe gone in for the kill that had this thing dismissed earlier. But no, they're making so much money and they're bilking Roman out of this that they're pulling off, that because they have a conflict of interest because they're married. What? Yeah, don't you understand this? They're going on trips together and they're making money. So, yeah, but you don't understand. What does this mean? I don't even know. This stupid argument, it never made any sense. It's like, what difference does it make? So what? They talk about three things: the romantic relationship between them, okay, financial compensation received as special prosecutor, and they go on trips. What the hell difference does it make? What does it even mean? And nobody's talking about that. Now, if I'm doing an internet show and I'm going to say that, I'm going to say, I didn't get any numbers. But if I say, here we go, look at this. Here's a copy of their hotel bill. They were in a hotel together. Look. Okay. Now, it does get interesting because she claims, well, I didn't really have anything to do until 2020. No, okay, fine. But it's like Peyton Place, or I'm really dating myself here. But I mean, it's soap opera-y. That doesn't even matter. That's not the issue. It's the obstruction of justice. It's the threat. It's boring. This is fun. I want to hear about them having sex and how he had a garage. Because that's the way people are. And if we can figure out a way one day to teach people how to critically think and identify what really matters, that's important. Everything is an illusion. Everything is an illusion. Everything that you're being told is how to perceive stuff, how to understand stuff, how to grasp things, how to understand, and how to put yourself in the position of grasping and understanding and truly seeing something. Like last night, Jimmy Kimmel is horrible. He's horrible, but they told you he was great. And they had to bring up Trump again. That's already hackneyed. That's just, it's done. It's run its course. So let me go back. The story that the Daily Mail today, front and the Daily Mail is the official or the unofficial tabloid, so to speak, of the royal family. And even they're saying, you're insulting us with this. Who was the genius who put out this? And then do you ever find yourself double, like you're thinking, okay, who put this out? She did. They did. Okay. Did they know it was stupid? Yes. Oh, so they did it on purpose? Yes. So they're deliberately trying to fool us? Yes. So, you're thinking, wait a minute, what? They can't be that stupid to put out you can't put out a bad Photoshop in this world when you have people who have nothing better to do but just pick apart stuff, and they're going to crowdsource it, and it doesn't make any sense. Hang on a minute. Sparky says, just in case, they're surrounding Trump with swamp creatures in order to get him to populate his administration with them like before. Well, it's funny you say that. I think he's not going to learn. I think he is eventually going to the only thing that's going to happen with Jared, and I know you're interested in this, the only thing that's going to happen with Jared is that he's not going to be at the White House. He's going to be calling the shots like everybody else did. Anybody trust this Mike Pompeo? No. This, you talk about swamp rats. It's like, do we, the people, here we go. The people that would, if you said, okay, Mr. President Trump, I'm going to give you the names of some people who are going to be a part of your administration. And you don't know their names, but let me tell you right now, they are some of the most critical names. Some of them are academics. Some of them are whatever. John Mearsheimer is first and foremost when it comes to Ukraine in particular, that's my guy. The late Stephen Cohen was just, he would be, that's my Russian, that's my NATO Russia, that's it. I want you today to do me a favor. Ask all of your friends, who was Victoria Nuland? Who was, or Toria? Who was she? Who was she? Who? Look at this. The Brookings Institute, the Political 50, Robert Kagan and Victoria Nuland. Who was she? Ask people. Ask all of your friends. You missed my mini. I missed your Kimmel. Excuse me. I'm so sorry about that. Kimmel last night didn't do nearly as well as Biden's State of the Union. That is true. That is true. By the way, look. How do I say this? The whole idea. Do we have any folks who dare remember? You want me to age myself? How about when Bob Hope remember when Bob Hope had tails? Remember this? White tails. Johnny Carson did it. It was wonderful. Billy Crystal was, I think, terrific. He was actually song and dance, knew what was going on. Kelly's eclectic mind says, never liked Pompeo. He's nothing but a warmonger along with Nuland. And that is true. But also they're old-fashioned. Listen, let me give you an example, Kelly. If you came in and said, I'm going to put all of my money, I'm going to redirect into Intel. What? Intel. No. I've got the Raytheon boys here, the General Dynamics, the this and that, the Boeings. No. No, we don't do that. No, excuse me. We don't need this. How many F-35 Raptors do we need in Gaza? You think there's going to be any dogfights over Kyiv? Do you think we're going to need anything? Do you think we're going to be actually going through dog fights against China? Do you understand this? Laurie Cuck says Tory neocon royalty, Grady Judd for AG. Well, you know, Laurie, here's the problem with this. Grady Judd is the sheriff of Polk County, Florida. He's great. He's too much of a publicity whore. Pardon my French. And that word whore, I don't even like the word whore. He's too much of a, no. He's good, but I've got to reel him in. Very scary about that. Just very scary about that. But the people that run the show, I had a conversation the other day. A very good friend of mine is Russian. And he loves America and he's telling me stuff that blows my mind. Blows my mind. Just about the way Russia is compared to here and what people think. How many of you believe, let me ask you something. In Russia, do you think Stalin is considered a hero or a despot or a despotic person? Who crafted the image of Stalin? And I'm not a defender, but who crafted it? Who crafts your image? Where do you think this comes from? Hollywood, the Hollywood image, the Hollywood. This goes back to Frank Capra. This goes back to using the Signal Corps. This goes back to propaganda. This goes back to Bernays. This goes back way before. I know we're not supposed to bring out names like Goebbels and others, not Goebbels, but Leni Riefenstahl and whatever. But if you want to know about propaganda, it goes back to Gregory the Seventh, whatever it is, from the book. The idea of crafting public image. How do you think we do that? Do you see last night? Whenever they can slam Trump, that's what this is about. Fani Willis, whenever we can change the issue, whenever we can craft the issue that somehow she is the victim of racism. Do you see how this works? Yes. It's about crafting your opinion. It's about crafting the way you think. And sometimes the worst thing I can do is say, no, it's not that. It's this. You know what's even worse is to tell people, sometimes the people that you hate the most, they're right. You see, when COVID came out, there was a lot that was said about COVID that was correct. But many people didn't want to hear this because it was an all or nothing. Because people cannot separate. It's Bobby Kennedy versus Fauci. That was it. There's no middle ground. There's no whatever. Very, very dangerous. Sparky, by the way, is on fire, hence the name Sparky. Your man Pompeo tricked Trump into having Soleimani assassinated. Rather than saying that it was a mistake, Trump seems to be going with it. Soleimani issue puts Trump in a bind. What can he say? Absolutely. What was the purpose of this? How many of you find people, if I were to tell me the image you have of Iran. What do you think of these people? Despotic, crazy, theocratic, lunatics, throw gays off of whatever it is. How many people do you, you just, I'm not trying to justify anything, but you have been given a storyline from people without any form of verification. There was something I saw the other day. There's a woman named Katie Halper, and her show is you got to understand something. I learned a little bit from here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. And there was this fellow by the name of Michael Rappaport. I don't know what he is, but he's a cretin. And I don't know if he's trying to hang on to something to bolster, refine the trajectory of his career. I don't know what, but he was saying things about Ramallah. He called it Ramallah, and he didn't know what he was talking about. And it was very, very interesting to see how there's this, how they're trying to get a Jewish contingent of comedians and the like to try to come on board, and they can do much better than this. And Michael Rappaport is just he's cretinous. And it was fascinating. And I'm thinking, what is this? All this? This is about opinion. This is about propaganda. This is about shaping people's collective images. Sparky says the F-35 is a major lean boondoggle, just like the military-industrial complex likes them. Oh yes. Remember the Osprey, and there were others as well. What is it? What is it that we're going to do? How are we going to be fighting wars coming up? Wars are going to be fought by killing infrastructure, by destroying grids, and also, I don't know about you, but you know what I want to be in my President Trump's administration? The psychologist general. We have a surgeon general, an attorney general, and I want to be a psychologist general. I want to craft, I want to fix, I want to conduct, I want to adapt, I want to change the image of what people think psychologically, collectively, and emotionally. I want to create certain things. Lori Cuck says, I remember seeing Iranian college kids refuse to walk on American flag propaganda. I was talking to a friend. Thank you, Lori. I was talking to my Russian friend, said he's a little younger than me, but when he was a kid growing up in Soviet Union, you know what they loved? AC/DC, metal. In his room, he would go to these communist, these like these camps, where the kids would go for camps. He says, well, the same way you were the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. Remember this? The kids, the 2 finger and 3 fingers and all that stuff. Remember that when you wore this little military outfit? What was a Boy Scout? Military outfit, rank, badges, military. I plan to do my duty to guard my country, and all this stuff. You know what? They did it too. They weren't into the communism stuff. They loved America. They loved America. Iranian people, kids, love us. They want to be us. Do you know what I would tell them? There are people right now, and you're going to love this. This is the racists are going to go crazy with the real racists. You know who they love more than anybody else? Rap stars, hip hop, rap. If Cat Williams could get off the weed, he could do so much good. And actually, they love this. We talk a lot of dirt about this country. We're a great country. Forget the government. We have our music. Thank God for YouTube. I'm listening every single day. The music that's happening right now, it was always there, but it was kept down by the music companies. Our culture, our food, our fun, movies, not like they used to be. Used to be Hollywood meant something, not anymore. Even our big tech and something about, not really. But when it comes to what people think about us, about America, about setting the cool, so to speak, we're there. That's what I would use. I would be propaganda. I would make people love. I would go in and I would love a revolution without firing a shot. And the thing is that I would tell them how great we are, but you're not going to want to know anything about Iran. See, if we spend time, if you spend time with Iranian people, I guarantee you. Remember one time a Persian friend of mine says, I can trace my family back 8-10 generations. Can you? I mean, they're just Persian, not Arab, Persian, different. You ever talk to Armenians and how they view the Turks and the Armenians and all these gradations of this here? It's really neat. But guess what? Deep down inside, what do we have? That's the most fun. You can have that. I want to talk about food. Lori Cuck says, Americans are loved for our spirit. Absolutely. I went to, yesterday, Mrs. L and I went to, we had met with some friends. I went to one of the most authentic. I went to a Chinese restaurant in Queens it's the best I've ever been to. It was like something I mean, we have a friend, she's Chinese, and so we're on the table and we've got all this great plant. The food's so versatile, but they've got like aquaria of crabs and lobsters. Really, they serve duck web. I mean, it's authentic. You can't believe it, and it's packed. And there we got the rotating thing in the middle of them where it's just. And she's explaining this and this and Mandarin this and Cantonese this, and I'm thinking, wow. My chopstick skills are. But I say, isn't it funny you love chopsticks, but you have the best spoon. Their spoons are so great. They're perfect. They sit up. They don't. How did this engineering work on the spoon so well with the sticks? I don't get it. Anyway. And that's how you do it. Have you ever had Persian or any kind of seen that rice they make? You learn about a country by what they make and their ingenuity. The three civilizations that are responsible for world cuisines are Greek, Roman, and Chinese. That's it. Everything else, like French, brand new. And what was it? French, a lot of sauces to cover stuff up. Have you ever seen Japanese? Have you watched any Japanese food show? Have you ever seen Japanese what they can do with an omelet? You ever do that? You ever have an omelet? Do you ever see this where they go, hey, here's Jacques Pepin. He makes a perfect omelet. Have you seen the guy with the crazy hair who does the omelet where you open iritaki? I don't know the name of it. But you open it up over the rice and you slice it and it opens up like lava. I'm like, what the hell? Have you seen the volcano eggs where they take the chopsticks and they spin them? They're geniuses. Have you seen the pans, the lobster pan where you take the omelet pan where you take a pan, you half of it, you turn it upside down, you flip it over, and you keep building on it. They're genius. Eggs, what do? We scramble them. So, over easy. That's it. An omelet. Oh, a frittata. Japanese, like, Jesus. How in the hell did they do this? Who thought of this? That tells me about, this is genius. It's the most incredible thing in the world. And just that. I understand so much about you. That's what we need to do. I'm tired of killing people. I've got no beef with anybody. I want to have an administration where I say, do me a favor, leave them alone. Look, China, you're not perfect, and neither are we, all right? So let's stop pretending one's evil and one's not. We're either both okay or both evil. Sparky says, Iran is self-sufficient. Many people nowadays may think it's a generic backward West Asian country, but it has plenty of resources, and many in charge were educated in the U.S. when we had one. Yes. When we had, yes, absolutely. And there's wonderful genius to hear. They don't want us. They want us to be a part of our little intellectual prisons. They want us to be scared and need the government. I'm tired of this. I am one of the most inadvertently Christian people there is. My way of thinking is be nice to people. It feels good to be nice to people. Don't expect anything back, but you know what? Life will be better if you're nice to people. Don't kill people. Leave people alone. Don't be envious. Say, you know what? You got your stuff. I got mine. Thank you. Have a nice day. You might have more money than me. I may have whatever. We're different. I got no beef. Let's enjoy. The United Nations, it's about separation. You've got to live in a place to say, let me tell you the real truth. Oh, my Russian friend, I can't even tell you the stuff he tells me. You would freak out. Freak out. Let me ask you something. Imagine being in a country and somebody says, listen, do me a favor. Does racism really exist in this country? What is it really like to be an American? What is it really like? what is it really like? What is being an American? What does it mean? And I would say, where? What do you mean? What part of America? We're different. Sparky says, correction, educated in the U.S. when we had an education system. Sparky, you don't need to correct, but thank you. And by the way, you must have had a good education because of the fact that you correct things. May I say something to you? I know many of you are absolutely amazed by my Brobdingnagian intellect, my main worldview. I know many of you are just absolutely just gobsmacked by scintillating way with words, my ability to express myself. I know this. I know it. And you know where it came from? Me. Me. I can point to schools. I can point to this. Other people I know went to the same school. They're not me, and I'm not them. It wasn't them. It's me. It's how you're born. It's what you like. It's what you gravitate towards. It's what your inclinations are. I mentioned this yesterday. Little girls are pre-programmed to be mommies. And I know people don't want to hear that, but it's true. It's true. There's this thing called instinct. Instinct versus habit versus reflex versus mythology versus, okay, enough. An hour and 11 minutes, 111. It was 111:11 just now, but you couldn't see that. That's my favorite number. 11:11 makes me so. How many times, whenever I look at it, it's 11:11, 111. Oh, close. I will inadvertently do that. Sparky, thank you so much. Lori Cuck, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for that. You were splendid. Kelly's eclectic mind, thank you. Let me see. Oh, Gracie loves George. Thank you. Let me just say something. Thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for your incredible, your contributions. I mean that. I mean that. There's gratitude for you, towards you. Gratitude. I have gratitude towards you. I mean that. I'm not just saying that. I'm not just being sometimes people say things and I don't think they really mean it. I think they just say, thank you. Have a nice day. Gesundheit. They just have these reflexive things. Oh, I mean it. And also, you have been so terrific because you have also done something which is terrific. You have helped build this important message, Lynn's Warriors. You got to understand what's as she's right now, as we speak. She gets up early. She's going through talking to her people, talking to her these people who work with traffickers. She's constantly immersed in this world, which nobody wants to talk about. Please do me a favor. If you love me, do two things. Make sure you are subscribed because for some reason, people are saying, hey, I thought I was subscribed. I'm unsubscribed. And subscriptions mean everything. When somebody comes along and say, oh, I want to listen to him. Why? Well, he's got... Blah, blah, blah. So listen, if that's the game, we'll play the game. But also follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. Lynn's, Lynns, Warriors, all one word. Well, or two, it depends how you look at it. Lynn's, Lynn, apostrophe S. Okay? That means so much because we want to spread the holy word of truth. That's it. Truth is a very tough thing. It's my truth. You might not believe it. It might not be your truth, but it's mine. And I will tell you things, and I just want you to be able to express yourself. The only thing that I ask, and I think we've done a good job, is just be cordial. That's all. It's cordial. Don't scream, don't yell, don't mock, don't be stupid. That's all. But just say what you want, but also, that's it. All right, dear friends, you have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful time. Let me see, that's about it. Oh, and whatever you do, I always remind you, we're going to be back at 7 p.m., but don't forget this. Remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. That's it.